I'm Brittany Lewis with Forbes Breaking News. Senator Marsha Blackburn got into a direct exchange with the nominee during Wednesday's Senate Judiciary Committee hearing. Laura Mate is the nominee to be a member and vice chair of the United States Sentencing Commission. Blackburn asked Mate about a 2020 statement she made regarding COVID and inmates. The Tennessee lawmaker asked point blank if the nominee still agrees with the statement, quote, "In a time of pandemic, that convicted criminals should be released back on the streets to avoid infection." Listen in to see the nominee's response.
Ms. Mate, you have written, in 2013, you wrote a letter to the Sentencing Commission, and you requested that they emphasize a list of priorities. On that list, you included studying and revising drug guidelines, prohibiting the use of acquitted conduct, and narrowing the scope of the career offender guidelines. So now that you're nominated to the commission, are these issues still favored priorities with you? And how would you try to implement them as vice chair of the commission?
Thank you for that question, Senator. That letter was written by a group of people to fulfill the obligation of defenders to comment on the work of the Sentencing Commission. So that was the defenders' list of priorities at that time.
Do you still hold to that list?
I'm not coming in with a list of priorities for this commission.
Your mind on those?
It's not a matter of changing my mind, Senator. That was the defenders' priorities. I think some of those topics.
You agreed with them in writing and signing the letter, correct?
Yes, in my job with the
All right, let me
defenders.
move on then. 2020, during COVID, you made the statement, allowing the disease to rage unchecked in prisons is a far greater threat to public safety than lowering prison populations. So let me ask you this. Under what circumstances do you believe it's appropriate to release convicted criminals to protect them from COVID-19?
Thank you for that question, Senator. Again, that document was prepared by Sentencing Resource Council on behalf of defenders, and it was a short fact sheet to provide defense lawyers and decision makers with information about what was happening with COVID-19 in the prisons at that time. It was, I believe, soon after this body had passed the CARES Act. So there was a decision by this body that people needed to be released.
You still agree that in a time of pandemic that convicted criminals should be released back on the streets to avoid infection?
I agree with this body's decision in the CARES Act that there can be responsible release.
Thank you. Judge